Welcome to my presentation on dissociative identity disorder, featuring commentary on the film Fight Club. For this presentation, I will compare and contrast the behaviors of the film's main characters against the diagnostic criteria for dissociative identity disorder. As a warning to those who have not yet viewed the film or read the book, this presentation does contain spoilers. Fight Club originated as a novel by Chuck Palahniuk. It was adapted into a screenplay starring Edward Norton as the narrator and Brad Pitt as Tyler Durden and released in 1999. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders 5th edition, otherwise known as the DSM-5, lists the defining feature of dissociative identity disorder as, quote, the presence of two or more distinct personality states or an experience of possession, unquote. It goes on to point out that there is a marked discontinuity or break in a person's sense of self and sense of personal agency, meaning they don't know who they are and they do not feel in control of themselves and or their surroundings. Until 1994, dissociative identity disorder was known as multiple personality disorder. However, the name was changed to show that the condition is not a growth of separate personalities, but a splintering of an individual's core identity into those personalities. Symptoms are accompanied by related changes in the individual's emotional expression, conduct and demeanor, awareness, memories, feelings, thoughts, and command of their senses and physical movements. There are a few things that would disqualify an individual from a potential diagnosis. The disturbance cannot be part of a broadly accepted cultural or religious practice. The symptoms cannot be attributable to the physiological effects of substances, such as alcohol or drugs, or as part of another medical condition, such as complex partial seizures. Our narrator has a history of chronic insomnia and is distressed with the current state of his life. He experiences a number of symptoms, beginning with the most important one, his creation of the distinct personality that is Tyler Durden. Tyler is everything the narrator is not: confident, charismatic, fearless, virile, and free to do as he pleases without fear of judgment or repercussion, and without attachment to the conventions of modern consumerism. What is important to remember is that in order for the aforementioned symptoms and changes to be clinically relevant for diagnosis, their culmination must cause significant distress or impairment of the individual's personal and or professional life. The more time the narrator spends with Tyler, the more he begins to emulate him with damaging effect. The narrator, once stylish and tidy, appears dirty and disheveled. He is constantly sporting the bumps, bruises, and gashes associated with his Fight Club membership. Where the narrator was once conscientious and dependable, he is now unpredictable, confrontational, and violent. Individuals with dissociative identity disorder have memory gaps that go far beyond ordinary forgetfulness. This is referred to as dissociative amnesia. They are often unable to recall important personal information or events. They come into possession of objects that they have no recollection of owning or sustain injuries that they are unable to explain. Injuries, for example, much like the ones incurred whilst engaging in fisticuffs with grown men as part of an underground fighting ring. In addition, individuals with dissociative identity disorder experience dissociative fugues, blackout periods where they are unable to account for their time. These blackout periods commonly involve travel, where an individual may suddenly find themselves in other locations, either in their immediate surroundings, say under a bed, or much farther away, as in another city, state, or country. Before it becomes apparent that he and Tyler are the same person, the narrator visits all the cities listed on Tyler's canceled boarding passes and describes feelings of deja vu at each location. These places were familiar to him, but he didn't know why. Although a less common manifestation, it is not unheard of for individuals with dissociative identity disorder to experience depersonalization, where they feel as if they are watching themselves from outside of their own body, or as if they are two people, one acting and one observing. We see this throughout the film. The narrator hangs back, a face in the crowd, as Tyler takes center stage with his antics. Now that we have explored the diagnostic criteria as it pertains to the film, the question that begs to be answered is this a realistic portrayal of dissociative identity disorder? When thinking about an individual with multiple personalities, most people conjure up an image of a person that drastically changes themselves as each new personality emerges. Everything from different names to ways of dressing, speaking, or moving. The truth is that these elaborations really only present in a minority of those diagnosed. Moreover, some individuals may use avoidant behavior in an attempt to conceal their symptoms, and still others may not be fully aware of what is happening. In my opinion, Fight Club did an adequate job of theoretically ticking all the diagnostic criteria boxes for dissociative identity disorder. However, the film's situational manifestations appear over-exaggerated. It would be best to take this film as it was meant to be, not as an ultra-realistic portrait of an individual suffering from dissociative identity disorder, but as a piece of cinema meant to both provoke and entertain. Thank you for watching.